Welcome to the show. My name is Kate McMahon, and I am going to be your host today. And I'm very excited to share that we have Gerry Bedard here from the Sepsis Alliance, where he has the role of education coordinator. Thank you so much for being here, Gerry. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity to let me tell you about it.
Great, thank you. So can you begin by just telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a retired Worcester elementary teacher for 35 years, and I also retired as a commander from the Naval Reserve. And we lived in Shrewsbury for 44 years, and about 9 years ago we moved to the Cape.
Great. Well, it's a great place to live.
Oh, definitely.
Isn't it?
Definitely.
So can you tell us a bit on how you became involved with the Sepsis Alliance?
3.5 years ago, my wife died from sepsis, and we had absolutely no knowledge of it, never heard about it before. And it wasn't until she was in the hospital that we had first heard about it. And after a couple of years after she passed, I did research for support groups on the Cape, and there was nothing. So I started looking into it, and I got contacted by the Sepsis Alliance, and they had programs where we could put the word out ourselves, and that's how I got involved.
That's great. Education is key
Yes.
for a lot of different issues and illnesses. Can you tell us why sepsis can be so severe and have the impact as it did on your family?
The big thing, it's an infection, and people assume it's just a minor infection. It could be anything from the flu, pneumonia, a cut that gets infected, and the body will start fighting the infection, and for some reason the body will stop fighting the infection and turns on itself, and the process will start affecting the body and start attacking the organs and tissues. And this is what can turn into all kinds of problems.
Yes. What happens if attention to the situation is delayed, the symptoms?
If you reach a point where you have the infection and you're getting serious, every hour you do not get treatment, you increase your mortality by 8%.
That's dramatic.
It very much so. So in my wife's case, where we did not know it, by the time we reached the hospital, we had probably a couple of days that I feel the clock was already ticking on her. And it was, what could they do to try and stop it?
Yeah. So it truly is urgent then to have it addressed, because I think I just heard you say that symptoms can be similar to the flu or pneumonia?
Very definitely, yeah. When she got sick, we thought it was the flu. She thought it was the flu. Mm-hmm. She had the chills. She was confused a little bit. She was sleepy. She didn't want to get up, somewhat unstable. And she thought it was the flu. And I said, let's go to the doctor. She said, no, it's just the flu. Let's wait a day. And then the second day, she said, let's go. Mm-hmm. And that's when, but all along, we thought it was the flu.
So can you tell us if you can get sepsis when you're in the hospital?
80% of the people going into the hospital have an infection. So
that's a high number.
It is. So that if you go into the hospital, you can get sepsis through intravenous, catheters, MRSA, something where is going to be breaking the skin. But you cannot get it just by going into the hospital. You have to have some kind of an infection that you get in the hospital. So 80% plus people walk in with it. So when she walked in, she had an infection, which originally started out with a scalp infection. And when she got there, they said she had a urinary tract infection.
Okay.
So it's an infection is the big thing. Once you have the infection, then you start getting these other symptoms. The body starts attacking you, and then it gets serious.
Yes. Sounds like it. It sounds like it happens very, very quickly.
It can be, in some cases, for some people, within 3 days they have passed.
Wow. So attention is really important, and that's probably your mission, or
Right.
excuse me, your mission.
Yeah, right. That's putting the word out, because many of the people I come in contact with, I mention it, they might have heard the word. If they've heard the word, they don't know what it means, or they don't know the extent of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at it as must be my mission now, in Nama's name, to put the word out, to prevent or save somebody from going through what I've had to go through.
It's wonderful. That is a great mission.
That's what I'm hoping.
Great mission. Is there anything a person can do to prevent this from occurring to them?
Good hygiene, wash your hands, that's one thing. If you get an infection, watch what it's happening. Treat it what you normally would. If you think it's getting out of hand, go to the doctor's right away, or the emergency room. If it really looks like it's a bad infection, call 911. This week I spoke with Lieutenant Roberts on the fire department in Yarmouth, and they have the protocol when the first responders go out. So if they suspect it, when they come across a call, they contact the hospital right away, so that the hospital is ready when the ambulance arrives at the hospital. So time is the thing, so that if you suspect you have an infection, you have some of the symptoms of temperature problems, mentally unstable in a sense, all right, start making a call, because time is the big thing.
Now, you mentioned time, and I know your organization has come up with an acronym.
Right.
And the acronym is actually TIME.
Right.
Can you share with us what those 4 items are, please?
T right now is for temperature. If you have an abnormal high or low temperature. In Nama's case, she had the chills one night. We fluffed it off. Everybody gets a chill. If you have the flu, you get the chills.
Very common symptom.
I is an infection. If you have signs of an infection, or you have an infection, that's the key. Infection is the thing, because the infection is what will attack the body. It's a toxic reaction to the body. M, mental decline. Confused, sleepy, don't want to get up. In her case, I called her in the morning, I want to stay in bed. Didn't get up till noontime. Then when she came up, did I take my medication? A little bit confused. Okay, E, extremely ill. I feel like I want to die, or in extreme pain. Some people have said they've had the worst sore throat they've ever had.
Oh my.
So this is what the time is. So this year the Alliance came out with this acronym of TIME, which is simple to what they used to have. It just makes it easier for the people to be aware.
Yeah.
And if you have 2 of these things, definitely make a phone call.
Okay. Great. Thank you. How can our viewing audience learn more about sepsis?
Well, on this September 13th at the Senior Center, we're going to have I'm putting on a program from the Alliance at 1 o'clock about it, which is a program they put out for people like me who are non-medical people to show to the public, to get an education of what it's like. There's a 15-minute video explaining it. You can see it firsthand what it does. If you go on the website sepsis.org, they have all kinds of information. They have questions you can look up if you have something you're not sure of. Just plug it in. They have educational pamphlets on sepsis and diabetes, sepsis and cancer, whatever, so that they have all kinds of information on there. So it's sepsis.org.
Sepsis.org.
Yep.
Okay, thank you for that. And then this event is next week, September 13th,
Right.
which is Thursday.
Yes.
And it's going to be held at the Yarmouth Senior Center And folks can plan on arriving just a bit early.
Right.
And is this event free of charge?
It sure is.
Okay.
And what we're planning on doing is having quarterly events, getting medical people, fire department people. We hope to have, through this, see if we can start a support group, getting survivors or people like me who lost somebody. On the website, they also have what they call Faces of Sepsis, where they've had people who put in a tribute to somebody they've lost, or they will have someone who had sepsis and will put a video in, a little video of telling what it was like. So we're hoping to increase the knowledge and the exposure. So we will be putting on a quarterly thing. And where I am on the all-age friendly community team, and it's an intergenerational thing, we're trying to get the word out, so we'll be doing this more often than this year.
Right. You know, information is key. Key
This is
to
it.
education.
This is it. 40% of the population do not know about sepsis. And when Nama got sick, I think back then it was closer to 48% had never heard of sepsis.
Amazing. Half the population.
Right. And right now, 1.7 million people get sepsis in the United States. And of that, approximately 270,000 people die.
On an annual basis.
On an annual basis. And if people got medication and treatment soon enough, and they saved 80% of the people, that would be saving like 800,000 people. And of that 1.7 million, 70,000 children get it, and 6,800 children die, which is more than pediatric cancer. And for the adults who die, that 270, that's more than prostate cancer, breast cancer, and AIDS combined. So the statistics are there. So this acronym TIME, that is the key. If you have an infection, do something about it.
Great. And we will share with the viewing audience how they can learn about the disease, and also the acronym TIME. We'll make sure that they know what that is, so they can memorize it or put it on their refrigerator so they can keep it top of mind in case someone in their household becomes ill.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And just to repeat one more time, there will be a presentation next week at the Yarmouth Senior Center on Thursday, September 13th at 1 o'clock. The event is free of charge. Gerry obviously will be attending, and I'm sure he would welcome any questions and looks forward to seeing you all there. Thank you for joining us today.